federal holiday that celebrates and remembers all who have served in the military, both in wartime and peacetime. The day has been observed in one form or another since 1919, when then-President Woodrow Wilson commemorated the first anniversary of the World War I armistice, saying, "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of the nations." At Bethesda Churches, we honor and celebrate our veterans because it is the sacrifice of these warriors that allow America to remain free and to have liberty. In America, although the church at large is under attack, we are still able to worship and praise our God the way the Holy Bible has subscribed. So whether you served in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, or Space Force, Bethesda celebrates and thanks you for your service. Happy Veterans Day, and may God bless you, veterans.
Come on, can we celebrate our veterans? Come on, lights up, please. Amen. If you are a veteran, could you please stand to your feet? We just want to celebrate you. If you are a veteran here, wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Our team has a special gift for you. And on behalf of myself, Lady Ned, and the church, we thank you. And we don't want this to become like each year and we just say, well, thank you. No, we mean that we appreciate you for your sacrifice, for you continuing to keep going on. And Brother Brown, I'm going to ask you to come up in a minute, but we want you to know that sometimes you go overlooked and have not always been treated with the type of honor that you deserve, but we want you to know that here that we honor you, that we thank you. And so Bethesda, can we give them a roaring round of applause? Thank you. Amen. You may be seated. And Brown, I want you to come up. Come on, man, get the mic. Come on real quick. And so we'll have to do this. You're gonna be at the next service too, right?
I'm gonna be teaching the next service.
Oh, okay. So good thing I'm talking to you now then. So Ivan, that means you're up. Next service, I got to talk to you. All right. Amen. But so Brown, first of all, I want to tell you, man, I'm proud to be able to know you for what you do in the community, and for that the Lord has given you your niche in this thing. I mean, not only do you counsel people and help people, but in this veterans thing, the way you push for them to have the things that they need, the way you fight the structure, you know, just talk a little bit about the work you do and what you might see as one big need that veterans have from all of us who did not serve.
So right now what I do is I'm a community engagement program coordinator for suicide prevention, and I've been in this role for 3 years, and what my job is to go up and down the valley from all the way from far as Kings up to Mariposa County to establish community coalitions to prevent suicide. I started with 0 coalitions, and now I've established 8 coalitions to this point.
Wow.
So,
wow.
You know, I give God all the glory and the honor and praise for that, because I couldn't have drawn that up. And he brought me to this place to where, you know, I can bring different stakeholders to the table around this issue purely because of, you know, my love for my country, my love for my fellow veterans, and, you know, people are just, you know, coming around it and doing the work. So I think, you know, for the most part, it's just really staying the course, I think, is the challenge. You know, as Pastor, as you just said, it's not always easy to get people to raise their hand and to volunteer, and just, you know, just letting you know that, you know, folks are raising their hand and saying, look, I'll sign up for this and be a part of it without expecting anything in return. And that's essentially what we have done as veterans. And so to your other question, what can you do? You can serve selflessly the same way that we have. I mean, we would appreciate you to reciprocate our, a lot of times we can't expect you to match our level of service, but at least get a third of the way there. And if each one of us could serve selflessly just a third of what a veteran has done, how further would we be as a country, as a community, and as families?
Wow, that's good. And one of the things that I found, Brown, as pastor is that I don't have to do everything. That the Lord puts gifted, highly anointed people around you, and you're oftentimes just either facilitating, right, or empowering so that people can do that work. Can you talk about a few of the events you've had? Because you had one at Champion Center, you had one here. You were able to get people together, like of different types, different backgrounds. And let me say this, and I want you to answer that question, but I believe that we are going to have a veterans team here at Bethesda Churches. Like, this is going to be one of the safe houses where veterans can come. And I believe, because we've already seen it, like some who are stationed like in Lemoore and stuff like that, like they're coming in and finding peace here. But just talk about a couple of the events that you've done and how you were able to bring people together.
Okay, so the first one was, it's called Battle Sisters. It's a female veteran coalition, and we've seen a need for our female veterans, and I think a lot of times organizations, they see a need of a special population within a special population, and they just want to add that to their list, right? Like a check off the box. And so what we decided to do was say, we're going to create a separate organization outside of the other larger organizations and allow them to have community events. And so what we've done is we just hosted a community event, and this is an idea that the women came up with, and basically it's just them reestablishing the camaraderie that was lost, which is their tagline. And so just bringing themselves around each other, and we're really trying to expand that not just to veteran women, but also the partners of veterans. There's many times there's a female spouse that may be needing of that same camaraderie, and they serve alongside their husbands when they go to war. And so it's just that opportunity to bring people around the table, break bread with each other, and and the other important thing, most important, is that you know about the resources that you qualify for.
Got it.
So many resources will go not tapped into, and within our county, we want to bring those resources within our county, because that increases economic development as well as those dollars start to come into this community. Yeah. And then the other event that we hosted here at Bethesda, Maine, it was basically a not a mental health conference. Mental health was a component of it, but we also had service officers. We had EDD. We had all of the resources that are available, so that way we can empower the clergy. So that way the clergy knows about the different services that are available. Sometimes you might have a veteran or a service member within your congregation, and you might not even know they're there. So as you guys noticed, 3 of us are sitting up on the front row serving quietly. Like, we may not boast about our service or this and that, but 3 of us are serving. And so there might be others that are within, our church. And I'll just ask a question real quick. How many of you have a family member that served? Raise your hand, please. See?
Wow.
So it's 6 degrees of separation from us and a veteran. And I think a lot of times the fact that more than half of this room raised our hand, there's something else I just want to say real brief, is that sometimes there's trauma attached to that veteran serving. And so a lot of times we may be reluctant to talk about it or to bring that up, but we need to be able to have spaces where we could talk about those things, but also have the resources to help those individuals, even sometimes they can get stubborn and may say, oh, well, I don't want that resource. But to be honest, certain resources are not just about the individual veteran. There are certain benefits that also help the children of that veteran and the spouse when that veteran passes away. And so sometimes we have to put our pride aside. And so that event was really just highlighting and saying, hey, these are the resources that are available to you, and we're bringing the resource to you and not forcing you to actually come to us.
Excellent. Give him a round of applause. Babe, can you bring that box? Come on. Bring that over. And so there we go. So, you know, Brian, I don't know why, it was just on my mind to just do a little token to you, man. I just really think that, I don't know, that we should be like highlighting, not in a proud way, you know what I'm saying, but just highlighting the work that you're doing. And not only that, like, I felt like it's like paying it forward. It's like letting someone know that God sees them in the middle, right before it explodes and goes to the next level, you know, and I wanted to be a part of that, you know. And so me and Lady Nett, we just got you a little something, and then I got you a little certificate. Ryan, can you help me up here, man? I ain't got no arms. There we go. And so I got you a little certificate, and it says a certificate of acknowledgement presented to Derric Brown for being a champion for Jesus Christ through your tireless work, service, and love for veterans in Fresno County and at Bethesda Churches. Your labor is not in vain, presented to you this day. So wanted you to have that. And it's a couple of little things in the box for you, but can we celebrate Derric Brown?
I got to say thank you back now. Well, look, first off, I have to say thank you to our pastor, because when I came to you about the thing that I left out is when I came to you and said, Pastor, can we use the site? He didn't think twice. He said, hey, go ahead, here go the keys, go to Melissa. And I said, wow, was that easy? If I would have tried to do that in the community and say, hey, can I use this space? I would have had to go through a bunch of red tape and all these other issues, and Pastor just opened it up. And even when we came to host the event here, he just allowed us to use this space. And so, to your point, we absolutely are going to have that veteran ministry, and we're going to show the Valley how we should treat our veterans, not just on one day, but throughout the year.
That's right.
And there was a gentleman sitting right there in that seat, and he said, we have to stop looking at our veterans as a deficit and as an asset. And so that's what we want to be able to see our veterans as and be able to build them up, because what happens when this house is filled, this front row is filled with veterans and serving in this church? Guess what? This church is going to go to the next level, because when you have a church with people that are willing to be selfless and I believe that that's what Christ has called all of us to be. And so
that's right.
I thank you, Pastor, for allowing me to do that. Thank you.